Hi, this is Trey Passer, and this is my video entry to CHRISBLU007's 900 subs contest. Um, First of all, congrats, Chris, or Mr. Steelbook as I call him, on the 900 subs. I'm sure you paid for it, and you've earned them. And I just want to say congrats, though, seriously, on the 900 subs. You have a great channel. From the first time I saw it, your Steelbooks collection is fantastic, and can tell you love of movies, and I love that you show the movies in the background where you're showing off your Steelbooks and stuff. You tend to talk way too much, okay, and you have a lot of corny jokes, but I'll give you a pass on that since you're having such a great giveaway contest, and you're giving away 3 Steelbooks. The Hurt Locker, Sherlock Holmes, and Drive. That's a great prizes, and it's a winner-take-all competition. So thank you for that, and I'm sure you're going to get plenty more stuff to push you over the 1,000 easy, because you're giving away 3 great prizes. Anyway, the question you want a video entry, and the question you ask is, what is your worst movie in your collection, or your guilty pleasure? I guess it could be a 2-part question, so I'm going to take both of those. Okay, I have a couple of titles, and I'll go through it real quick. This would be more like a guilty pleasure. This one is Punisher Warzone. Starring Ray Stevenson as Frank Castle, the Punisher. And this movie is is everything. This movie is just fantastic in its balance and its absolutely over the topness. It's just fantastic. And Ray Stevenson makes the perfect Punisher. He's just fantastic because all they ask him to do is kill people, and boy does he kill people. Okay, but there's so much over the topness in this movie. The villain that he fights in this movie is called Jigsaw, played by Dominic West, and he's literally got a jigsaw face. His face, is screwed up because of an accident, and it looks horrific. And believe it or not, he's not the worst character. He has a brother that's in a mental hospital that he rescues. After he gets his face rearranged, he goes to free his brother, who is absolutely nuts, and I think partly a cannibal. And basically, Frank Miller is just the Punisher, Frank Castle, excuse me, is just killing. He's just killing everybody. I mean, the kills in this movie are just fantastic, and this movie is just fantastic for the violence. I got this, and the Punisher, Ray Stevenson is the perfect Punisher because he kills without mercy. And another thing that makes this a nice guilty pleasure, Newman is in this movie from Seinfeld. He's in this movie. Of all the people that I think could be in this movie, him being in this movie is just ridiculous. But the violence, you get it enough for the violence, because there's a particular scene where he storms a hotel, Frank Castle, to get the bad guys, and I think he had to kill. I'm being conservative. I think he had to kill because it looked like they had every gang from New York in this hotel, and I think he had to kill every one of them. I think every gang literally they had in that hotel, and he went through the hotel killing everybody. And he even killed a guy who was on a crapper taking a crap. He kicked open the door and blasted the guy right in the head, which is absolutely hilarious. But so that's more of a guilty pleasure. Okay, now this is more like a guilty pleasure too. This is Lost in Space. This was based on the TV show, which was really good. This was, like I said, they did a movie version of this, and this movie did very poorly at the box office, and it's not the greatest movie. Like I said, Gary Oldman, who's normally right there, who's normally quite good in movies, is a little bit over the top in this, but this movie is just far from the TV show. It's not as great as the TV show. It actually is kind of awful. There was only a couple of things in it that make this a guilty pleasure for me. Matt LeBlanc, right there, who plays Major John West, he's actually quite good in this movie. He for the most part plays the part straight, and he's pretty good in it actually. And the only other part that I really love about this movie, and I'm going to put a spoiler in this in case anybody wants to see this, and say that there's a scene towards the end of the movie where basically the ship, I'm just going to put it out there, and not where the ship is leaving the planet. They have to escape because the planet is blowing up, and the father is stuck. William Hurt is stuck on the planet, and with his grown-up son. See, that's his son there, his little son there. But through too many explanations to explain, his grown-up son is there. I guess his grown-up version of his son is stuck on the planet also with him, and they watch as the ship takes off and it gets destroyed by a meteor. It just gets blown up. The meteor crashes into it and it kills everybody on the ship. And of course, he's just devastated, of course. And then his son is there on the planet, and he has these weird devices on the planet, and it comes to a point where the part that always gets to me, that I always forward to at the end of the movie, is when his grown-up son, who was played by Jared Harris, he grabs his father. He sees how devastated his father is by everybody in the family getting killed literally in front of him. He says, "I never knew how much you loved me." This part already gets to me. He said, "I never knew how much you loved me. I waited a lifetime to see you. To see that you actually cared." And he said, "Don't make me wait another lifetime before I know how you feel." And then he hits a button, opens up a wormhole, which I guess goes back in time, and he actually literally throws his father through the wormhole, and he winds up on the ship before it crashes. Okay, and then somehow they make it out. But I always love that, the father-son moment there towards the end of this movie. That's why this is a sort of a guilty pleasure for me. Okay, now this is a really probably the worst movie in my collection, Wild Things. This is, I think, Wild Things 3. The only reason I got this, and I say this on a purely shallow note, is because the two girls in this movie are totally smoking hot. Okay, and that's the only reason I got this movie. I didn't get it for any other reason. I didn't get it for the great storyline or for the cinematography. I got it because these two girls, I think I saw like a clip of it on YouTube or something. These two girls are totally hot, and they totally make out a couple of times in this movie. And that's the only reason I got it, okay? But other than that, this movie is absolutely horrible, okay? And there's a twist in it towards the end, which actually I didn't see coming out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere to me, but that's the only reason I got this. And another movie that I got purely for the physical was a movie called Soul Survivors, which I haven't actually watched, and I heard it's supposed to be quite good. But the only reason I got this movie is because of Faith right here, or her real name, Alicia Duskow. I think that's how you say her name. I got this movie just because of her, because I was a big Buffy fan, of course, and I love Faith, and that's the only reason I got this movie. Okay, and I haven't watched it from the, I've seen clips of it, but I haven't watched it from beginning to end, so I'm gonna have to do that. So that's another purely shallow note movie, and another movie that's purely a shallow movie, a guilty pleasure to me, is this movie called Lovesick. We got this recently. Dudley Moore, Elizabeth McGovern. There's the back. The only reason I got this movie is because of Elizabeth McGovern. She is absolutely beautiful in this movie. And this movie is actually quite good, and it's not more of a guilty, but it's a guilty pleasure because, like I said, the only reason I really got it is because I like the chemistry between these two characters, and the movie's actually quite good, but mostly because of Elizabeth McGovern, who's absolutely gorgeous in this movie. Okay, now these other two movies are guilty pleasures. This movie came out, I think, on TV along when I was a little kid. It was called The Promise, starring Stephen Collins and Catherine Quinlan. And this is so cheesy. I mean, basically, it's about a rich guy that who marries a poor artist. She's like a poor artist when they meet, and she has like these incredibly bad teeth in her mouth and a crappy hairdo. And they meet, and of course they want to get married. And of course his mother's opposed to their marriage, of course. And of course, on the night they're supposed to get married, they have a horrific car accident. He gets told that she's died. The mother goes to the artist chick, and she's horribly disfigured, and she makes her a deal. She'll pay for her surgery if she agrees to walk away from her son. And of course she does it, And of course I think you can see the bad teeth on Catherine Quinlan in this picture. I don't know if you can see it right there. But anyway, it's so cheesy because she of course, she gets the plastic surgery, and she's looks totally different. And of course, they happen to run into each other again later. He's an architect and she's an artist, and he wants her art to fill a new building that he's doing. And of course, he doesn't recognize her, and she gets pissed at him because he doesn't recognize her, even though she has a totally different face. And of course, but towards the end, make a long story short, they reunite at the end, and it's really super cheesy at the end. You know, they're at the beach, and the promise of the title is, in the beginning when they get engaged, that she takes off a necklace and they bury it underneath a rock, and they make a promise to keep it precious and all this stuff, and always go back and always remember what their true love was and everything else. But yeah, it's a guilty pleasure. Okay, the last movie in my guess guilty pleasure category would be The Prince of Tides. And the reason this is sort of a guilty pleasure, I don't watch any other part of the movie. If you look at this, I have it wound to the end part, and I even have this end part of this movie on my iPod, which I don't carry around with me anymore, but I have it on my iPod because I just love the whole cheesy ending of this movie. And basically this movie, Prince of Tides, in case you never heard of it, is about Nick Nolte. He's a character who you know, he has a brother and a sister, and he grows up in a Southern family, and he finds out, and totally dysfunctional family, and he has, you know, he gets a call one day. You know, he's going through the motions. He has 3 daughters. His marriage is on the rocks. His wife is having an affair, and he wants out of the marriage. But he gets a call one day from a psychiatrist, Barbara Streisand, saying that his twin sister tried to kill herself, and so he has to go to New York to take care of her. And of course, during the course of that taking care of, they fall in love. Okay, even though Barbara Streisand is married and he's still technically married, you know, they fall in love. And like I said, it's, you know, it's based on a book that's supposed to be actually really good, Prince of Tides. But this is like a guilty pleasure for me because, like I said, I love Nick Nolte's performance in this, and the ending. You know, Barbara Streisand, I think, is a little over the top in this movie, but I love the ending of this movie because, you know, they fall in love, of course, and then of course he gets a call one day from his wife saying that she wants to get back together, so he has to leave, and of course, and they have this, you know, they have this one last night with each other. But I always remember the ending part because after they have this nice little dinner and go dancing, Nick Nolte does a voiceover where he it's so cheesy, but I remember the exact words. I think I can quote it because I watched it tons of times. Let me see. Okay, where basically Nick Nolte's saying a few weeks ago, I wanted out of everything. I wanted out of my marriage, out of my life, and she helped me. You know, she truly helped me get over my emotional burden. Okay, he said, and then basically he goes, I'm a teacher, a coach, and a well-loved man, and that is more than enough. In New York, I learned to love my mother and father and all their flawed, outrageous humanity. And in family, there is no crime beyond forgiveness. And then he goes, every day I look to the north, and again I wish there were 2 lives apportioned to every man and every woman. And as I drive home from as I drive across the bridge, he said, every day I drive through Charleston, and as I cross the bridge that'll take me home, these words come to me in a whisper. I say them as prayer, as regret, as praise. Lowenstein, cue the cheesy music, and then it goes off. But Lowenstein, in case you wanted to know, was Barbara Streisand's character. Of course, and like I said, it's a guilty kind of pleasure. You know, and I just, you know, I like the ending of it, so it's kind of a cheesy pleasure, but I play that over again. So, Chris Blue, that's my entry into your contest, and again, thank you for your congrats on the 900 subs, and of course, you're gonna probably shoot right past this with this contest. And even though you have extremely corny jokes, okay, and but you're a great guy, and you deserve all the subs you're gonna get. Okay, so this is Trey Pastor saying so long and take care.